Will Canon open their RF mount to Sigma? Are the forecasts of a big Sigma announcement for the RF mount accurate? And will we soon be able to purchase Sigma lenses, such as the popular 150 to 600 mm, the 70 to 200 mm, and the 20 mm prime? Well, stick around after this short message for the latest news on the date. But first, subscribe to this channel for a chance to win a Canon EOS R5. I'll be giving one away to one lucky subscriber once this channel reaches 100,000 subscribers. Anyone above the age of 18 with a valid mailing address is eligible. Additional terms and conditions are linked in the description down below. In September 2023, we were told that Canon will open their RF mount to third-party lens manufacturers by the end of 2023. But just like my hopes of winning the lottery, yep, you know it, the big one, the $1 billion lottery, my hopes were quickly dashed. But it's important to notice here that while Sony Alpha Rumors has been correct, talking about the Nikon ZF, a whole bunch of Sony cameras, the A7C, the A7C II, the A7CR, the A7R5, Sony Alpha Rumors isn't the only one talking about a rumored big firmware update for the Canon RF mount. Just 1 month later, Canon Rumors had a conversation with an employee of a distributor in a given country. And that employee said that February might finally be the month where we hear something from a Japanese third-party manufacturer, that February is the big month for the RF mount. But that's not all. You see, I've been talking to various people on this channel as well, some people that you even know, some people that regularly comment when they went to Build Expo and when they went to certain other trade shows around the world. Several people told me that when they were talking to Sigma reps, they kind of let slip that they're in discussions with Canon. I thought that was rather interesting. They didn't really give anything away, but with all the noise late last year in Q4, I thought it looked like a pretty good possibility. 3 sources told us that. 3 sources plus Canon Rumors and Sony Alpha Rumors. But then dead silence, at least up until now. Now you're curious as to what it is, right? Just brace yourself, just relax, sit down. If you're having a nice beverage, put your beverage down, because this is big news. It's a tiny bit of news, but it's big, it's significant. Andrea Pizzini, the owner and editorial director of Sony Alpha Rumors and the YouTube channel by the same name, had this to say.
Folks, finally we can look forward to a new announcement from Sigma. Trusted sources told me that in very early February there will be a major press event from Sigma, so I'm 100% certain this is going to happen, but the sources didn't share yet what will be announced. So the first few days of February, that does sound promising, doesn't it? A big Sigma announcement of lenses for the RF mount? The long wait is finally over. I don't remember having to wait this long for anything in the camera world. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Sony customers, how long do we have to wait for the A7S III? 5 years. GH6 owners, any guesses? 5 years. And the S1 series, that still hasn't been refreshed, and that's been, well, it's been over 5 years. So yeah, I know the third-party lenses on the Canon RF mount, it's going on 5.5 years now. It'll be 6 years come this October. So we've got good company with Panasonic and Sony. The long wait is finally over. Unfortunately, we don't know what lenses are going to be announced. We don't know what super telephotos, primes, or zooms could be announced. But based on a poll I put out asking you to identify what Sigma lens you would like to see as one of the first lenses announced, we can pretty much assume that Sigma is going to come out with not some obscure, strange lens, but something that sells very, very well. So let's take a look at that poll. This poll was conducted last year, and the most demanded Sigma lens by you, the viewer, is the 35mm f1.4 DGDN Art at 28%. And that's followed very closely by the 150 to 600mm f5 to 6.3 at 27%. And when I first conducted this poll last year, actually the 150 to 600mm came out on top, and I understand that because that lens it's magical, 150 to 600mm. I get that. Look, I've got the 100 to 500 here, and over here I have the 200 to 800mm. That 150 to 600mm, it gives you somewhere in between the range of these two lenses, but at a fraction of the cost, and that's why it's such an exciting lens. And I hope that's one of the first lenses
announced for the RF mount. But another lens that shouldn't be a surprise, and based on my research, I was told this was the most demanded lens from Sigma, and that's the 35mm f1.4. Shouldn't be any surprise, but the other three lenses, and I can only do a poll of 5 because YouTube, well, they only allow me to do a poll of up to 5. I don't know why they don't allow us to go to 10. It would be really helpful because a lot of times there's many more options I'd like to poll people on, or even give people the choice of picking 2 items. That would be nice. But let's take a look at the rest of the poll. The Sigma 85mm f1.4, the 60 to 600mm, a recent announcement, as well as the very popular 70 to 200, all polled statistical ties with 16, 15, and 14% respectively. Do you feel that? Do you feel a little bit relaxed? Do you feel a sense of relief? Do you feel happiness knowing that you're finally going to be able to have access to a rather large pool? At least that's what we believe, a large pool of Sigma lenses over time will be coming to the RF mount, filling in that affordable range of between $300 to $1,400 that Canon doesn't really provide a lot of lenses. And yes, sure, there are a few pancake primes of around $200 to $300. And yes, there are a whole bunch of kit lenses, but in terms of lenses like the 70 to 200mm, the 35mm f1.4, a whole bunch of other primes, super telephotos, and zooms, nobody does it quite like Sigma, at least at the price points they charge. So I'm looking forward to this. I shoot, as you can see with my lenses, the ones in the background, I have an awful lot of L-series primes, and this announcement doesn't affect me personally as much, but in terms of what it's going to do for the Canon RF system, or the Canon R system on the RF mount and the RFS mount, this is a really big deal. If you're looking at buying the Canon EOS R50 or the R7, the R10, or God forbid even the R100, and before you buy that one, check out all the reviews. But if you're looking at purchasing these, no longer are you going to hear all those headlines or hear all those sound bites and see all the headlines talking about how Canon just doesn't really have much compared to Sony. Let's take a look at Sony over here and all the lenses that they have for the E-mount. And I think that's going to be really huge for anybody buying in on the low end and the mid-level as well. And hopefully for us buying in the L series, it will add a bit more competition to help bring prices down. And as we saw over Black Friday leading up until almost now, we've seen some rather big discounts on Canon lenses, like the 100 to 500mm, at a price of, well, $500 off, and even the 200 to 800mm at a starting price of, what, $18.99? That's a really big deal for a lens that's as capable as this. And sure, compared to the 100 to 500, it's not quite there. It's not an L series, but from the brief time shooting with this, I think that lens offers incredible value. But I'm wondering if we're seeing all these discounts and lenses by Canon in anticipation of some new Sigma lenses coming out and more competition to help drive down the prices of some L series glass. Well, it benefits all of us. It benefits all of those of us buying at the high end, the mid-level, and of course the low end. I'm really excited by this. I'm just super excited. Now, I do want to address one thing though. I had a few comments the last time I talked about this, people saying, what does Sony Alpha Rumors know? They cover Sony. They're not credible. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about Sony Alpha Rumors. I've been following all the major sources of information from 4/3 Rumors, the L-mount rumors, Canon rumors, the new camera, the Camera Insider, Panasonic, you name it. I've been covering it, and I got to tell you, I've been paying very close attention to what Sony Alpha Rumors has been putting out over the past year, starting with the Sony A7R5. They were bang on with that one there. We had the A7C2, the A7CR, the A6700, the FX30. I didn't follow them too much when they released the FX3. And I can tell you this, when it comes to Sony F, oh, and also, they didn't cover Nikon until this year, and they were bang on about the Nikon ZF, even beating out Nikon rumors. And when it came to the 200 to 800mm, well, Sony Alpha Rumors also beat out Canon rumors, as did they beat out Canon rumors by a month with this whole idea about the Sigma announcement. So whenever Sony Alpha Rumors puts out a story, it helps to understand a couple of words that Andrea uses. If he uses the word like this, wild rumors, well, that means it's just somebody sending it in. He finds it humorous. Don't believe anything it says. Just, you know, hey, water cooler talk, that sort of thing. But whenever Andrea from Sony Alpha Rumors says, whether it's on his YouTube channel or on his website, If he says a source has told me, a trusted source, it's triple validated, anything like that where he implicates a source and that he trusts the source, well, you can take that to the bank, and you can take it to the bank in terms of being somewhere between 80 to 95% correct. Now, when it comes to rumors, no one's ever going to be 100% correct, but right now, Sony Alpha Rumors is one of the more, leading candidates when it comes to the source of information. It used to be that Canon Rumors was the first to come out with anything Canon related. Well, now there's competition. There's Sony Alpha Rumors, there's the Camera Insider. And when it comes to Sony, well, Sony Alpha Rumors is the leading expert of all things Sony, and all the other sites, Nikon Rumors, 4/3 Rumors, they tend to just focus on their own particular market. But it seems like Sony Alpha Rumors, with his channel, Andrea Pizzini Photography, is spreading his wings a little bit. He's growing, he's expanding, and it's certainly a site worth watching. But one thing I find very interesting, in the data for my channel, it shows that 33% of those watching haven't subscribed to this channel. Can you believe that? Are you one of those people that hasn't subscribed but you watch a lot of my videos? Then please do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. It really does help this channel grow. And if you're looking at purchasing any camera gear from Canon, Panasonic, Nikon, whoever, from Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, then please consider using my affiliate links down below. These ones right here, I have them in the description because I get anywhere from 2 to 12% back, and that really helps this channel grow because it gives me the funding I need to purchase upcoming new cameras and lenses, such as that 35mm f1.2, the Canon EOS R5, and maybe even the Canon EOS R1. The only question about that camera is it going to be the jack of all trades, the master of everything? Or as some people have been saying, that the R1, it's not going to keep up with the competition, the Nikon Z9. Well, I happen to think that that Canon is going to treat the R1, well, it's the way it needs to be designed for its target market, but we'll just have to wait and see. We should have an announcement very soon. Don't be surprised if information starts leaking out soon. But that's it for now. Have yourself a great week, and we'll see you again soon.